What if your body has its own language? A kind of hidden map that sends out these subtle signals long before a health issue ever becomes a real diagnosis. Well, in this explainer, we're going to learn how to read that map. We're going to look at women's health not as a bunch of separate problems, but as one single, intelligent, interconnected system.
This idea right here, it really gets to the heart of it. It's a huge shift in thinking. I mean, we're so used to this idea of the body as a machine, right? With all these separate parts that can just break. But the reality is, it's so much more like an ecosystem. Your hormones, your immune system, your gut, they are all constantly talking to each other. A little whisper in one part of the system can absolutely become a shout in another.
And that leads to this huge question. It really gets to the core of one of modern healthcare's biggest blind spots. We've gotten really good at treating symptoms, a painkiller for a headache, a cream for a rash. But when we do that, we're often just silencing the smoke alarm while the fire in the basement just keeps on smoldering.
So how do we actually see this internal fire before it gets totally out of control? Well, the good news is your body is constantly broadcasting its status. A standard blood test, when you actually know how to read it, becomes this incredible map to your inner world. It shows us those subtle shifts toward imbalance long before they ever become a clinical problem.
All right, so let's look at your body's dashboard. Just like in your car, there are these key indicators that light up when the system is under stress. We're going to dive into 4 of the most important warning lights that signal this hidden inflammation and system overload.
Okay, first up is C-reactive protein, or CRP. You can think of this as your body's primary firefighter. Your liver pumps out CRP in response to inflammation anywhere in the body. So when its levels rise, it's a direct, system-wide signal that your immune system is actively fighting something.
So, an elevated CRP level, that's your body's most urgent alarm bell. It doesn't tell you where the fire is, it could be your joints, your gut, your arteries, but it tells you without a doubt that there is a fire. And ignoring it is like just taking the batteries out of the smoke detector. The goal has to be to find the source of the smoke. Our next marker, ESR, gives us a totally different kind of reading. If CRP is the blaring fire alarm, think of ESR as more like the air quality index for your entire body. It's not as specific, but it tells us about the general inflammatory smog or the climate inside, which is often a sign of a much longer-term chronic issue.
The best way to picture ESR is like background static on a radio. A little hum is normal, right? But when that static gets way too loud, it starts to drown out the clear music. And that music is your body's healthy cellular communication. A high ESR suggests that the static is just everywhere, a sign of widespread systemic stress.
Next up, we've got fibrinogen. And this is where we can actually see inflammation having a direct physical impact on your circulation. Fibrinogen is a protein that's involved in blood clotting, but in a state of chronic inflammation, your body produces more and more of it, almost like it's constantly getting ready for an injury that never actually happened. And the consequence of this is pretty profound. All that extra fibrinogen makes your blood literally thicker, stickier. This forces your heart to work harder, and it reduces the flow of oxygen and nutrients to all your tissues. It's a physical traffic jam caused by systemic inflammation. Okay, our final marker, GGT, shifts our focus over to the body's cleanup crew, the detoxification system. GGT is an enzyme that gives us a direct look at just how much stress your liver is under. So if inflammation is the fire, your liver is the one responsible for clearing out all the smoke and debris.
A high GGT level is a crystal clear distress signal from your liver. It's like the filter in your home's air conditioner flashing a little "clean me" light. It means your liver is just getting overwhelmed by the toxic load from both the outside world and the internal debris from inflammation. It just can't keep up with its vital job of keeping your whole system clean.
So we've seen the 4 warning lights on the dashboard, right? The fire alarm, the air quality index, the traffic jam, and the clogged filter. The temptation is to just find a button to turn them off. But the real goal here is to understand what's causing them to light up in the first place, and to restore the entire system to a state of smooth, self-regulating balance. And this is such a fundamental shift in perspective. The goal is not to artificially force these numbers into a normal lab range. It's about creating the right environment, like giving a plant the right soil and water and sun, so the body can do what it's brilliantly designed to do, regulate itself and find its own healthy balance.
And this is where the map gets really specific. Notice we're not just talking about those wide, normal ranges you see on a lab report. We're talking about the optimal range.
This is the sweet spot. This is the zone of resilience, where your body isn't just not sick, but is actively thriving with minimal stress. This is our destination.
So how do we even begin the journey toward that optimal zone? Well, it starts not with complex interventions, but with foundational care. Just simply reducing the daily burdens on your system and giving it the core building blocks it needs to repair itself.
The first, most practical step is to just turn down the volume on inflammation. This means reducing foods and substances that are known to create that background static for a lot of people. Think of sugar or alcohol as literally pouring fuel on that inflammatory fire. Removing them, even just for a little while, is like giving your system a much-needed vacation. The second step is to actively add support. Magnesium, for example, is like a calming balm for your nervous system, and it's essential for helping your body shift out of that chronic wired and tired stress state.
And I want to be crystal clear here. This is not about replacing medical treatment, not at all. This is a supportive approach that works alongside whatever primary therapy you and your doctor have decided on. It's about making your body's internal environment as resilient and as healthy as possible to support any and all healing. So the next time you look at a blood test, don't see it as a report card with a passing or a failing grade. See it as a map, lovingly drawn by your own body. It's a guide, showing you exactly where your system is asking for a little more support. The only question left is, where is your body pointing you?